So the Apple TV's been out for just about a week now. Is it worth the upgrade? I'm Doug Drummond, and this is Consumer Gadget Reviews. And on today's episode, we're going to take a look at both models so you can decide, is it time for an upgrade? So, stick with me. First, let's compare the devices physically. They're both 3.9 inches wide and deep, but the new model stands just a bit taller at 1.4 inches as opposed to the third gen's 0.9. They both look the same in color and design otherwise, but the new model is noticeably taller. Also, because of the extra height, this new model actually weighs slightly more at 15 ounces, up from 9.6 in the last model. As far as tech specs, the new model has increased from Dolby 5.1 to 7.1. Both play in 1080p, and I have heard several complaints that 4K is not supported. But I actually only know a handful of people with 4K displays, and even a smaller number of video services that offer content in 4K anyways. So if that's a deal breaker, well, you better look elsewhere. Now on the back, they now have a USB-C instead of the micro USB, but this is for servicing only. Otherwise, not much change here. Now in my opinion, one of the biggest game changers is the new Siri remote. And although the old remote was very simple and basic, I love the new glass touch surface. It's actually matted, and it kind of reminds me of the Apple trackpad feel. It makes typing with the remote so much easier. Swiping and moving the cursor is done easily with your thumb, and it seems more natural since we're all used to touchpads these days anyway. I did say a Siri remote, so this remote features dual microphones. So now you can have Siri search for movies and shows, but this is actually only limited to Apple movies or like your major apps like Netflix and Hulu. Now you can even ask Siri things like, "What'd he just say?" and she will actually rewind 10 seconds and throw the closed captions on so you can read it this time. During the shows you're watching, you can ask, "Who stars in this?" and Siri will bring you up a list of the cast that you can further explore. You can ask questions like, "Show me kids programming," "I want to see scary movies," or you can even search by a specific actor. Siri does have some limited function now, and it's not as open as the iPhone or iPad, but you can still ask about things like, "What's the weather like?" It is kind of gimmicky, but it's fun nonetheless. Another feature I love is the addition of the lightning port on the remote. No more coin batteries that cost extra. This just charges with the included lightning cable, and it claims 3 months of battery. So only time's going to tell there, but I assume gaming is going to drain your remote faster. There's also an accelerometer and gyroscope that we're going to get into later, along with the addition of volume buttons that actually set themselves up to work with my Samsung TV automatically. And of course, the Siri button, as well as a home button that will bring you back to the main screen. Overall, huge improvement for me, and I truly do love using it. Even the design looks more like an iPhone than a simple plain remote. So the new Apple TV comes in two different models. The base 32GB model is $149, and while the larger 64GB is $199, I went with the 32GB. This seems more than enough right now, and unlike the last versions of Apple TV, the new model does have this built-in storage because this time you're not stuck with the apps that they install or that you get stuck with each update. You actually have to connect your iTunes account, and you can pick and choose a la carte from the App Store. No need for channels or apps that you're no longer using just laying on the home screen, but the more you download, the more space you're going to need. But I still don't see needing more than 32GB right now. But the other reason is because the new Apple TV now offers gaming, and while it's not necessarily a game device like the Nvidia Shield, it does have some charm. I really enjoy using the new remote and the touchpad to blast my way through Jetpack Joyride. And who can resist some crossy road on a 46-inch display? Honestly, my kids love being able to watch and play on the Apple TV, so they're not huddled together staring at a 4 or 9-inch screen anymore. And I'm glad they're not on top of me. But the graphics are pretty smooth thanks to that A8 chip with 64-bit architecture that actually features metal for a more lifelike, amazing graphics. Even the racing games have great frame rates that don't drop off and they remain smooth. Speaking of racing, the new remote acts as a controller thanks to the built-in gyroscope and accelerometer. Now turning is done by tilting the remote left and right, and you can use that touch interface for power-ups and more. If that's not your thing, there are third-party controllers that are available to purchase, but again, I'm not really sure Apple TV is a serious gaming machine just yet. Overall, I am a big fan because, well, I love Apple. Sure, there are much cheaper options like the Amazon Fire Stick, the Google Chromecast, Roku, and even the aforementioned Nvidia Shield, but I am devoted to the Apple ecosystem, and that means everything just seems to work together. I can AirPlay my photos and videos directly to the Apple TV, which I actually do quite a bit. It has a nice smooth interface that offers a crisp display that's exactly what I need, and it's still small and compact even with this little bit larger size. It's not revolutionizing TV viewing, but it is improving it. And in my opinion, this has been Apple's biggest overhaul this year. The brand new remote, changed operating system, app store, and the gaming editions, along with storage options, makes this a pretty big change. So in my opinion, I say it's totally worth the upgrade this time. It's only $50 more than what the Generation 3 launched at, and it offers much, much more than that model did. Now I know the price dropped on that Gen 3 to $69, and if you're looking for a simple model, well, now's the time. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next episode. Take care.